Hello and welcome to episode 46 of Ryan and Rob in Wrexham, where today we face Tottenham and Newcastle in the Premier League. Now, if we have a look at how we've done so far, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. We've not been amazing in the league. I mean, admittedly, we're still above our pre-season prediction of 7th, but we've not, we've been disappointing. We lost 2-0 at home to Leicester. We then lost 2-0 away from home at Southampton, a 2-1 loss to City, which was kind of fair enough. I hate playing against Makoko because he always scores. He's just so ridiculously fast, no defence can deal with him. And then we just lost 2-0 to Leeds, and it was so frustrating. We just didn't really do very much. We controlled the game on the whole, and then they had a shot that came out of nowhere and then a ridiculous long shot that no one should be scoring. That was rather costly, because we've actually lost our last two Premier League games, having had a decent run of beating Fulham 4-0, Wolves 1-0 and Chelsea 2-1. The Champions League is an entirely different story. We've been phenomenal. So we won 4-0 away from home at Hamburg. We then beat Inter 5-0 at home with Gary Weaver getting 4 goals. 4 goals. Incidentally, all his 4 goals that he's scored in the Champions League, he also has had 4 assists though. And then in the Premier League, he's got 2 goals and 2 assists in 6 games. So in total, that means he's got 12 goal contributions in 8 starts and 9 overall appearances. So Gary Weaver's having a season to remember, and hopefully he can keep it going and become a world-class winger. I don't know if it's likely to happen. I think his form is the reason that he's 3-star rather than 2.5 star. But yeah, we thankfully managed to beat City in the EFL Cup. I know, the most important competition of all, and it will play Bournemouth in the quarter-final. I don't know who else is left in. United, Newcastle, Tottenham, Stoke, Brighton, Ipswich. There's a chance we could win this tournament actually, I think. Would be good to win a domestic cup for once. Anyway, let's head into this game against Tottenham. Here we go then. Manole playing in a slightly unfamiliar role as the Mazzala today. We'll see how that goes. He played at right back in the last game, but actually whenever he's played at right back, we've not done very well. So I don't know if it's that he's not as good at right back as he looks, or if it's just that he's so good in midfield that he's integral there. But Gabriel Marcos hasn't let me down so far, so he's going to come in today for a start. I decided to go for Stanijevic going out because he's not been in amazing form recently. In his last 5 games, he's got 6.68, so not great. And Camavinga is a big game player, so hopefully he can do the job instead of Stanijevic today. That does mean Leclerc being on the bench is perhaps a bit of an unnecessary one because he's not going to get in over Stanijevic as a Mazzala, and he's not really a box-to-box. But he might come on depending on what happens with our midfield. If we get any injuries, we might need to bring him on at some point. Gary Weaver keeping his place due to his incredible run of form. Thankfully, he's done well, even if we haven't as a whole. It's time to put an end to this run of form, as my manager or my assistant suggested to say. And it's true. We have not been very good in the league recently. Rather disappointing. I'm not quite sure what's happened. It just seems to be one of those sort of football manager runs where suddenly you're not on the same level that you were expecting to be. Yervolino with a free kick. Good position for it, but Kobel, given his position sort of midway between the sticks, had me, I wasn't expecting to score from that one. If he'd been to one side, maybe there was a chance, but you don't really see your players scoring free kicks when the keeper's down the centre of the goal. Johan Suarez into Zakarian and gets the return pass. Karatsa steps in nicely there. Bazunu into Amstein. Not liking that we're allowing them to pressure us here, but Karatsa finds Warburton and then he just passes it straight to Spurs for no apparent reason. But can we pressure them to give the ball away? In a sense, I guess. It was a long ball from them, and Manole, he's taken it away from goal. He had an easy chance. Okay. Sorry, Manole, that was good work. Well done, lad. Exactly what I expected you to do. He did take Yervolino's pass away from goal a little bit there. It was a nice pass from Warburton there to make up for his previous poor pass. He took it away, but then stepped and found the perfect cross for Yervolino to put it home. who has been in really good form and is now behind Makoko, I think, the best striker in the league. And actually, he and Samoyas are, I think, the second and third best players in the league, according to the Dream 11, or the season preview at least. So we've got some really good players in our arsenal. And actually, Samoyas is a 5-star player now for us. Yervolino, 4.5 star. Samoyas not likely to improve, but Yervolino has a little bit of growth left in him. And Samoyas puts home the penalty. I don't think I've ever seen him miss a penalty for us, so well done to him. Just what we needed. And hopefully we can keep this going. I don't know if it's just going to be that we're poor away from home and good at home, or whether it's we're worse against the teams lower down the table and better against the teams higher up. But it just shows how difficult it is to win the league, certainly the Premier League, on Football Manager, because there's always going to be one of the teams. Usually Liverpool, I find, on this game. Man City have slipped away a little bit. United are a bit sort of hit and miss. Some seasons they do really well, other seasons they miss out on Europe. Chelsea often don't do amazingly, but sometimes they do. It's difficult. There's always going to be one of them that's on form, and that's a really good finish from Oliver Skip. But a bit disappointing from Bazunu to leave his near post open like that, and not a good start to the second half there. Samoyas is rather tired, so we'll get Connor Hillier on. He's been very good for us recently. I was considering sending him out back on loan to Stoke after his successful loan there in the second half of last season. Didn't end up doing that. I thought I did actually accept initially and then turned it down in the end because I wanted a bit of depth and didn't have very many wingers. And it turns out to be an inspired decision so far because he's been very impressive. Let's see. Let's get Stanleyevich on, I think, for... Yeah, that's what we'll do. And then do I take off Weaver or Yervolino? Weaver I can take off for Olmos. Yervolino I can take off for Garnier. I think I'd rather have Garnier on, to be honest. Weaver has been very good recently. Even when we have not been. We've had quite a lot of games where he's been a sort of 7.5 and everyone else has been about a 6.5. So I don't know if it's just his role. I think it probably has something to do with the set piece delivery because he's very good on them. Stanleyevich gets there first, which was just as well. But Spurs have the ball back now. Taylor, Quinones. Oh, how has he scored from there? How? We were 2-0 up, we're now 2-2. But that's a ridiculous finish. Goodness me. Wow, 3 shots on target, 2 goals. They got a 0.28, 0.48? Well in Manole. Finds Garnier in behind. Finish. And saved by Kobel. Oh, this is frustrating. We're not quite on it this season yet in the league. I don't know what's going on. But this defence are not doing well. I think part of it is Warburton's not been great this season. He's had very, very good seasons before this. 6.7 again. He's just not quite hitting the heights that he has in the past. I don't know what's wrong with him. How have we not won that game? I think we fully deserved to win that game. We were well on top for most of the game, and a poor bit of positioning from Bazunu and a ridiculous strike from Taylor. I've got no idea how we got that through. Have meant that we've not won that game. Very, very frustrating. Well, I'm a bit of a dum-dum, so for this game we don't have the usual lineup showing, but it's pretty much a lineup you can imagine. Weaver's not playing because he's a little bit tired, but Manole plays on the right-hand side in his place. Let's hope that he can do a job. I might put him as a winger rather than as an inverted winger, just so we have a bit more threat from the byline. I think with his ridiculous pace as well, that would be useful. We really need to get our form in the league going because it's not good so far. It's been rather disappointing. Yervolino standing over the free kick and clips the bar. That's unlucky for him. He's been pretty good from those free kicks recently, so that was another one that was close. Warburton. Samoyas finds a brilliant ball for Stanijevic. Can he finish it? No, he looks to pass instead. Yervolino did take it off the Newcastle defender, but couldn't get it on target. Cucurella. Don't know why I said that like he's Italian. He's actually Spanish, of course. Linked with City in real life, and he's a rather good left back, so going to have to prevent him from causing damage to us today. Getting quite a lot of players who are already a little bit tired, which is a little bit concerning, but I suppose the workload is pretty high, particularly given so many of these guys are senior internationals. Let's hope that that team talk can do a little bit, even though it's only motivated Bazunu. I hope that we can start to improve a little bit, because even though we've had the better of the game so far, it's not been, it's not been dominant or anything. And Newcastle's always a tough game, but we would like more. Yervolino going to take the free kick on the edge of the box here. This is a good position for it. Might be a bit too close in though. Oh, not for my boy. I swear his last goal was his 16th goal of the season. I don't know. Anyway, that's a phenomenal bit of play from Yervolino. Really good free kick. He's becoming quite deadly from free kick positions. Now Samoya sends it in off the bar, and we couldn't tuck in a rebound either. Right, time to get some subs on. I think we'll get Olmos on. Camavinga can come off for Driscoll French, I guess. I think I might get Chamber on. We can wait for Driscoll French and bring him on later on in the game. I'm not sure I want to bring him on quite yet. And good to see Warburton getting a much higher rating this time, because he's not had many of those recently. Let's get Chamber on, and Driscoll French can go there. Just need to hold on for another 10 or so minutes. Looking at the other results, Chelsea drawing 3-3 with Brighton, Leicester beating Fulham, Tottenham beating Leeds 2-1. Oh God. Yervolino, come on, keep the ball, lad. Finds Olmos. Got a lot of space to run into, but not a whole lot of players there to help him. And he's passed it straight to Gallagher. That's not what we needed. Marcos thankfully getting to that header first. And we just need to keep the ball. Anytime they get the ball, it's scary. That's not how you keep the ball, pal. And Bazunu stayed big and prevented Paulinho from scoring an equaliser. Straight away, though, another chance. Who's it for? Olmos. Can you do better this time? Finds Chamber. Gets the return pass. Play a couple of 1-2s between themselves. Gabriel Marcos into Yervolino, and he puts it home. It seems to be offside, but I'm not convinced he was, to be honest. I think that might be counted as a goal. Oh, it wasn't even given as an offside. I don't know what it was about that. There was something about that camera pan that made me think it was offside somehow, or that they were testing it for that. That, I think, is onside. Let's see. They're running back, so I assume it must be a goal. Yeah, it is. But let's get some time wasting on, because, this is a bit frenetic and we don't really want that. Oh, I thought there was another chance. I couldn't deal with that. And it looks like we're finally getting a good result in the league again. Good performance in the end from the boys. An important late goal, actually, for us through Yervolino, because Newcastle scored a minute later. Tottenham look to have beaten Leeds 3-2, but we are back into the top four. Admittedly, though, City and United both with good chances to go ahead of us again in the not too distant future. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channels. It really helps me out. Hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day.